Hello and welcome to this brand new science ed lesson. And I just want to say that thank you all for who has supported me. And please enjoy this lesson. If I can. Okay. So I want to talk about neurology. So this is like the study of brains, and I want to teach you just like the basics before we go on to the next lesson. So the nervous system is divided into two parts: the central nervous system and the peripheral nervous system. The central nervous system is made up of mostly the brain and the spinal cord. So you can imagine right here there is like a spine right here. So this right here is the central. Oh gosh, I'm just going to write this one. Okay, I'm just going to type it. This right here is the central nervous system. Okay, and the peripheral nervous system is made up of cranial and spinal nerves. Cranial and spinal nerves. So right here and like right here and spinal nerves. So wait, I'm actually gonna create, yeah, so right here and right here, and I am going to do that, and then the peripheral nervous system. Okay, so right here is a peripheral nervous system, and right here is a central nervous system. First, I'm going to explain the central nervous system and then the peripheral nervous system. So the brain is divided up into a lot of different parts, but right now we're going to talk about the top part of the brain called the cerebellum. Or no, no, definitely not. Right here is the cerebrum. Sorry. The cerebrum is also divided into two parts. The left side right here. The left side right here is called the left cerebral hemisphere. Left cerebral hemisphere. So right here is the left cerebral hemisphere, and the right side of the brain, the right side is called the right cerebral hemisphere. Okay? So the left side of the brain is responsible for the control of the right side of the body and is the more like academic and logical side. The right side of the brain is responsible for the left side of the brain and is more artistic and the creative side of the brain. So now we are going to talk about small thing under here. This right here, uh, this right, oh crap, this right here is called the brainstem. 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 Sorry. The brainstem connects your cerebrum and your spinal cord. And the brainstem is divided up into two parts, or three parts, sorry. So I'm just gonna do my best to attempt to draw the right here. So three parts. And right here is the midbrain. I also find it funny because it's not the middle part of the brainstem, which is very funny to me. So right here is called the pons. The pons. Oops. Pons. And then, last but not least, right here, it's called the medulla. Medulla. You can also call it the medulla oblongata, but I like to call it medulla. So, I'm going to explain all of this later, but for right now I'm just going to label things so you won't forget. So right here is the cerebellum. That's a thing that cerebellum. So right here is the cerebellum, or right here is the cerebellum. Okay, so that's the cerebellum. In Latin, this means beautiful brain because it coordinates your movements, like dancing, painting, a work of art, or just touching animals. So first, let's talk about the midbrain, right here. The midbrain is responsible for motor movement, particularly movements in the eye, and in auditory and visual processing, meaning that the midbrain controls eye movement, hearing, and yeah, you know. The pons right here has a really important role. Like it controls the amount of air you breathe and how many times a minute you take a breath, known as the breathing rate. The medulla right here controls important things like your heart rate and blood pressure. So remember, the midbrain controls eye movement, the pons controls the breathing rate, and medulla controls heart rate and blood pressure. That's a really key thing that I want. Actually, let me write it right here. Midbrain. Midbrain. Eye movement. Oh gosh. Pons. Controls breathing. You know what? I'm going to put down breathing rate, and then let me move it down over here, and then medulla controls heart rate and blood pressure. And yeah, so I just want you to copy all this down. And oh, and yeah, that's today's lesson for neurology. I'm gonna see if I need to. Ooh, next lesson we're gonna be covering all 12 of um the cranial nerves in the brain. So it'll probably be divided into 2 parts. So 6. I'll be covering 6 nerves per lesson. So yeah, I hope you guys like this science ed lesson. And as always, stay safe and keep on learning.